greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. Going to happen over the next 5 years. If BlackRock suggests that to their clients, these retirement funds, to add 1% Bitcoin to your portfolio, it's a wrap. I'll go out on a limb and say the next cycle, it could hit $250,000. So I'm early to the event so I can get the best seat before everybody else comes. But I'm the first one out the door. You got to think about stocks like that.
Well, let's get into your high conviction plays, man.
They're my high conviction. I just showed you my new meme coin. What's
going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beyond Ordinary podcast, where we connect with great people doing great things to inspire you to do the same. I got another great guest with me today. He's been killing it in the market for years. Uncle Larry, aka Stock Up with Larry Jones. How you doing today, good brother?
How you doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Larry, I know you're really popular on YouTube. You got 600K, and I know a lot of people. We were talking about at the trade show, like people see the end result, think that, oh, like he lost 50K, who cares? Like he probably got, hundreds of millions of dollars, you know what I mean? But it hasn't always been like that.
Nope.
That's kind of been the basis of this show. So kind of take us back to like when you first started trading. I believe you said that you started in 1992,
yes.
Right? That's when your first trade is?
That was my first trade.
That was your first trade.
Yeah.
So from there, walk us through like your journey and how you learned, because back then there was no YouTube. So how did you learn to trade? Starting from there.
This is gonna make me sound really, really ancient. We had to wait till the newspaper got to you,
Okay.
and the stock that we were in was like in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to wait that long to see how the stock was performing. If you wanted to buy a share,
Mm-hmm.
one share of a stock, you had to pay a broker $100.
$100.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
then if you wanted to sell it, you had to pay that same broker another $100.
What if you was down in the stock? You still have to pay?
You still got to pay.
Oh my
and it
gosh.
was just, and I always tell people the reason why they came up with the language of the stock market
Mm-hmm.
was to overly complicate things on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, well, you know what? You don't know what you're doing. Let us professionals handle it, right?
Okay.
And so that was all by design. But I will tell you, my first investment was in 92 and I lost every dime of it.
Every dime?
Absolutely.
Looking back in hindsight, like what would you do differently?
I would invest in myself first and
Mm-hmm.
take a class.
Take a class.
And if I couldn't afford a class, I would just research everything free that I could first. But me knowing what I know now, I would take a class. Even now, I have my own class, but I have purchased multiple classes,
Mm-hmm.
even some here recently. Because if you invest in yourself first and learn a skill or a new skill, that skill allows you to make endless money
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't value that.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of investing in yourself, there's a lot of fake gurus out there. Like
Yes.
It's a lot of just bull crap that they just put out. So how do you like kind of sift through that to find out who's like really real?
I would say ask around, always ask around. When I go live, I ask people like, hey, did you like the crypto chapter in my class?
Mm-hmm.
I just put it out there. Word gets around, and if you have someone else singing your praises, which I do on just about all my videos,
Mm-hmm.
it speaks for itself. And then I got an extremely low price point, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of free stuff out there that are
Definitely.
just good. I've seen some good stuff out there for free on YouTube, and just, instead of watching cat videos all day on Instagram, take the minute or take some time to invest in yourself. I was buying all of the dummy books, investing for dummies, options for dummies,
Mm-hmm.
and all of this. A lot of people get turned off by the dummy name, but I'm gonna tell you, those are some of the best books I read.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because I had my degree. I had an MD degree. I was a medical dummy, which means I don't know nothing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my joke, MD, medical dummy.
That's
But
funny.
listen, I don't, my theory is talk to me like I'm 3, okay? I got a friend named Ron Lewis who's actually in the building right now back there.
Yes, sir. Shout out Ron.
And he, he's the guy who I make my videos for. A lot of people make their videos for highly intelligent people that are killing it in the market and understands this. I make my videos for the truck drivers, for the hotel workers, for the farmer, the coal mine worker, the steel worker. That's what the average Joe. That's who I make my videos for. And my theory is talk to me like I'm three. And so I try to demystify the language. I always say this. I said this. We shot a live yesterday with Stocks with Josh. Shout out to Stocks with Josh.
Yes, sir.
And we, it's like the Fed. He kept saying transitory when we had interest rates running like a wild horse, just crazy. He kept saying transitory, transitory. And I literally went live and I said, do you guys know what transitory mean? Most people didn't. It just meant short term. So why couldn't he just say short term? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's transitory. It's transitory.
Trying to confuse people. The dumb money that
Well,
they call.
we're now like we create new languages to further complicate something that is semi-complicated. But when you break it down and make it plain and palatable for people, it's actually a simple concept.
Mhm.
But it paints this picture that they are smarter than you. No, they're not. They just complicated things to like put a moat around themselves.
Mhm.
There is another word that's used in the stock market a lot.
Moat.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
company has a moat around it. Well,
Mhm.
what does that mean?
I don't even know. I'm not
Exactly. See, there again. In the old movies, you always had a castle, right?
Mhm.
A castle had a drawbridge and it had a moat around it.
Mhm.
And what was in the moat? Alligators was in the moat, right? So pretty much you were protected against everybody else, right? And in the stock market, it just simply means that you are like Tesla. Tesla has a moat around it in the EV area, meaning they have far surpassed all of the other electric vehicle companies. So that's all it means when they talk about this company has a moat around it. NVIDIA is one of those companies now.
Mhm.
Well, NVIDIA has a moat around it. Well, eventually somebody's going to swim across the moat, kill the alligator, and eat your lunch.
Yeah. So you have brought up your channel. So your channel actually, when you first started, was about music, and then you pivoted to stocks. Can you
Yeah.
talk about that? Like why you made that change?
Young Buck been doing his research, good people.
Got to.
So yeah, I had 16,700 subscribers exactly
Mhm.
when I converted from music to stocks in 2020.
Mhm.
And it was, I was scared to death when I did that
Mhm.
because COVID hit. No one was going anywhere. There was no planes moving. There was nothing. The whole country shut down. And I just got in this space to help people. And I said something like this. If you go back and watch that first video, it's still up. I look like a deer in headlights. I'm looking like this because I didn't know what I was doing. And I said, just come and go on this journey with me. And I told people, a guru, I am not. If you're looking for a guru, you're at the wrong page.
Mhm.
I said, but come go on this journey with me. I took my wife's stimulus check and my stimulus check and reinvested it all and really killed it. And people were like, wow. And then we were doing 30-day challenges. Can we double this portfolio in 30 days? And it just kind of took a life of its own. Yeah.
Mhm. So it started as like a 30-day challenge of just trying to flip your stimulus check, and then kind of
No,
took off from there.
well, no, it was like my message at that point was something like this happens every 10 years. And what I've learned is in the past that every time something tanked the market, it was actually the best time to be buying.
Mm. Mhm.
COVID, the dot-com in 92, the recession of 2007 to 2010. If you pull up a chart, pull up the S&P, you will clearly see those were in the last 20 years the best time to buy.
Mhm.
While everyone else, I have a saying, while everyone else is running from the fire, we run to the fire and catch the fallen baby.
Yes, sir. And then you also mentioned that you made the most money in 2008 during the 2008 recession. Like, what were
Yeah.
you doing to put yourself in position to take advantage of that?
Well, what I did was, and my friend Stocks with Josh, we've been knowing each other for a while.
Yep.
What's funny is he's witnessed this whole journey.
Okay.
Even a lot of people think we just became friends.
Friends.
No,
Yeah.
he witnessed this whole journey. At that time, I was doing low cap stock, real low cap stock, and some penny stock, and I would see 25-cent moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that 25 cent
So
was like
25.
30%
Yeah.
moves in 2008. And I would just see these trends without knowing anything about charts.
Mm-hmm.
I would just see these trends, like Yahoo Finance, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I was in that Google chart,
Mm-hmm.
and I would just see these trends every month. I would go out to the 30-day, and I would see this stock is just bouncing like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would buy it at the bottom, sell it at the top, buy it at the bottom, sell it at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started going, okay, it didn't reach all the way to the top,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what did I start doing? I start lowering my margin. I start lowering my range. So I start buying it before it got to the bottom,
Yeah.
right? And then selling it before it got to the top of this range. And I start making money consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And it taught me not to be greedy. But I was making in 2008, if I made over $100 a day, I was excited
Mm-hmm.
because I was learning and I was earning. So it got to the point where, I was making $1,000 a week. And in 2008, I was in sales. I was sitting at home. No one had any money. I was in sales. I was working for Home Depot selling window siding roofing. No one had any money. So I'm commission only. So my wife would go to work. She would come back and I was sitting at my desk, still in my house robe, sipping coffee.
Yeah.
You haven't moved. Now my wife knows me as a workaholic, and I would literally we laugh about that today. I was like, how much money did you make today?
Coffee in hand.
Yeah. I was like, look how much money I made. She was like, how did you learn this? That's what I was doing all day.
Mm-hmm.
I had CNBC on, and all I did all day on my desk.
Going on, we interrupt this program to bring you the sponsor of this video, which is my multimedia company, SFG Media. So what we do is we increase the brand of content creators and business owners and bring them monthly recurring revenue with short form content. So how do we do that? We have a team of editors that come into your business, they edit all your shorts and they'll distribute them on all platforms. So that's Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And the reason why we do that is because it gives you the most viral potential, the most growth. And if one platform such as TikTok gets banned for whatever reason, then you're on multiple platforms and you're not really boxed in, right? And guess what? The best part is it's all done for you. You don't have to lift a single finger. So then from there, as we're, posting consistent content, building your audience, getting the views, the audience is compounding on itself. That's the top of the funnel. Then we push all those views to the bottom of the funnel, which is your product. So whether that's a coaching call, whether that's a paid community, whether that's an email opt-in, whatever. So that's the bottom of the funnel. And that's how, we bring you your monthly recurring revenue or your email opt-in, whatever the bottom of the funnel looks like for you. And Chris Sain is actually one of my clients and he's been with me for an entire year. So if you want to check out Chris's channel, his Instagram, his YouTube, and see all those shorts, my team did all that. So if you're interested in getting some work done, shoot me an email at m.youngblood@sfgmedia.org. I'll also leave it on the screen for those of you watching this on YouTube. Now, back to the show. Yeah, and I think that's a big key is that you are learning. A lot of people that come into the market, especially the ones that are chasing like GME, AMC, Bonk, like they're not trying to learn. They're just trying to
put some respect on Bonk.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My bad. Bonk is an actual investment, y'all.
No,
but
no, it's just go ahead.
No, but yeah. What are the three stages? I know Josh always talks about. It's like learn, earn,
learn, test,
execute. Yeah, and a lot of people just skip to execute.
Yeah. And I'm just telling you that is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he says it, because we discuss that all the time.
Yep.
Till this day, 90% of the people still, even our followers, still won't do it. Yeah, learn, test, and then the last is execute.
Mm-hmm.
And what he says is true. Most people execute.
Just execute.
Right. And then they learn a lesson after they lost. Right.
I think what it is that, like, imagine you're testing or you're learning and then you're testing And then you just think to yourself, like, damn, like if I actually had real money in the market, I would have actually made money.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier off screen about people don't see that the opportunity cost of what if you lost?
Right.
You know?
Most people are not paper trading. They're not.
Yeah.
They won't skin in the game. Most people, the truth is, most people, me and my friend Ron was just talking about this.
Mhm.
A lot of people, not most people, a lot of traders are gamblers.
Yeah.
They're not traders, they're gamblers. And they just want to get rich, right? You know, my dumb neighbor next door made money on GME. And if he could do it, surely I can do it.
Yeah.
Right? And then GME runs up again and they go grab all of their savings, their 6 months of savings, you know, for their household expenses, and they dump it in on a game. They don't even know, they don't know how much, you know, what a PE is. They don't know how much money it is. They don't know about
Market
the share
cap.
dilution that's going. They don't know any of
Nothing.
this. They just don't want to miss out because my dumb neighbor made money last time, so surely I can make money. I'm smarter than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people fall into that, unfortunately, and they don't want to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love being taught how to fish.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all I do. I don't read books. I don't read novels like love stories. If I'm reading a book, it's an instructional.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like reading. I like reading instructionals. That's it. Outside of the stock market, if I'm on YouTube, I'm learning something. I'm either learning something about equipment, a new soundboard, a new camera,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how to be better at SEO. That's all I consume. I I'm not watching cat videos.
Yeah.
I'm in the grind right now. The greatest transfer of wealth. God told me this. You know I'm a spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I may sound like a fanatic to some people, but I can tell you something. If you crazy enough to think that a big bang started all of this, then I just think you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You may look at me like I'm crazy. I look at you like you crazy, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody was arguing me about Moses, well, you know, it was only 5 feet of water at that time, and blah 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 blah. How could that happen? How could all these people drown in 5 feet of water? And I was like, wow, that makes the story even more amazing.
Yeah.
He goes, what are you talking about? I said, God drowned all those people in 5 feet of water. At the end of the day, it's gonna be God with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that God told me in 2020 that the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world, he told me this in 2020, it's going to happen over the next 5 years. We're 4 years in.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of money that's been transferred from the 5% to us has been staggering because there are some people out there making a lot of money.
A lot.
And there's some people that are gambling that's losing money, right?
And
And
someone
not
has to lose. So.
and not just in the stock market, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a multi-million-dollar business now. Just think about that. Just think about that. I go from making an average salary in 2020, then the worst thing in 1,000 years happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year I make what it would have taken me and my wife 17 years to make. That's transfer of wealth. That money came from somewhere. Every time a stock is sold, somebody bought it.
Yep.
Every time somebody buys a stock, somebody sold it. We don't think about the other end of it. So there is wealth to be transferred. You with this podcast, right? It's gonna be a big platform.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's wealth transfer. You're creating, but you're getting your piece of the pie. What we have to understand is that wealth is like, I'm giving one of these long answers because I'm always like to teach. Wealth is like matter, and wealth is like sound. Okay. Do you know that if you go outside and go, I love you, and scream that out, do you know that never goes away?
What do you mean?
That sound reverberates throughout the universe for eternity.
Really?
It never goes away.
It just gets faint enough to where you
can't
hear
it's passing Mars and it's passing Jupiter. I'm just throwing that out. But it literally, Google it. It's true. And matter is the same thing. I always say money is like matter. When you cut your heat on, the cold air does not go away. It gets chased, it gets shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth is the same way. There's no new wealth being created. Wealth is like the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Who's manufacturing new earth? Nobody, right? And so there's a shifting that goes on. And there is a scripture that says the wealth of the wicked is stored for the just. So if you are going to get your portion of the wealth, it's coming from the wicked. Now, who's the wicked?
Yeah, that's
Right?
$1 million question.
Okay, who is the wicked? Some of the 5% are wicked. That takes the money, that raises your taxes, right? That has been bleeding our communities for year in and year out. Some of those people are wicked. Some of those people are some of the wealthiest people, control things, the ones that set up the banking system, that own the banking system,
Mm-hmm.
that pays you 0.05% while they make 10, 7, 10, 12%, and they pay you 0.5%. And then what they do to the school systems is they won't let you teach financial literacy,
Mm-hmm.
but they will let the credit card companies come. Who owns the credit card companies?
The same
And they
people.
will let you get in further debt. So now you graduate with school debt and credit card debt.
Yeah, I always thought it was just so crazy that they would let an 18-year-old who has no idea what they're doing take out hundreds of thousands of dollars
It's
into debt.
it's by design,
Yeah.
right? But we wake up. I got a shirt printed
Mm-hmm.
that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a documentary. Dumb
Uh-huh.
Money Woke.
Dumb
Now,
money
if you're
woke.
gonna be woke, you better wake up on this game that's been played. I say this all the time. The stock market was established. America was established in 1776. I keep saying this, but this
Mm-hmm.
is so important. Stock market was established in 1776. I'm sorry, America was established in 1776, not
Right.
founded, but established,
Mm-hmm.
right? 16 years later, in 1792, the stock market was established. Now, I want you to see who started the stock market, who started the banking system,
Mm-hmm.
and who are some of the wealthiest families in the world. You start following the path down the road, and you will have some of the biggest aha moments.
Yeah.
And why they call us dumb money.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally such a game that they call you dumb money, but they make the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And they call you an emotional trader, but they own the companies that put out the FUD that causes you to sell,
Mm-hmm.
right? They own the companies that say Bitcoin is they own the companies that publish the media that says Bitcoin is a farce. I wouldn't touch it, da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And then they push it down from 50,000 down to 20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Down to 18,000, right? They're buying.
Yeah.
But they just told you it's a scam. I would never do it. And they're buying.
Mm-hmm. That's why I have to look at what they're doing, not what they're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So that's all. Man, I can go a whole hour on that. It's just, and it's such a rabbit hole. And then you wake up one day and you go, if I would have knew this when I graduated from high school,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
bruh, I own this whole block. I'd own this whole block.
Yeah. I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, if I knew what I knew like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, or when I graduated high school, like,
Right.
yeah, I would have did college so much different.
Right.
So different. Like I would, yeah, so many things. But speaking of the market,
Mm-hmm.
it's always sometimes it's so hard to like exit when you're up. So like, what is your exit strategy now that the market is starting to heat up a little more?
My exit strategy right now, anybody who follows me that know, is often.
Often?
Often. My exit strategy is often. So it's not what you buy.
Mhm.
It's not the price you buy it at
Of
so
course.
much. It does have something to do with it.
Mhm.
It's because you don't want to buy at the top. But it's where you sell it. So I always say this on my videos. We're not doing that this time. In 2021, there were people buying it at the top. You know, they were buying meme stops at the top. They were buying the meme coins at the top when the
Yeah.
market was selling off, right? And my thing is, I sell often.
Mhm.
I love locking in profits. I don't care if it ran another 20% up. I could care less. If I made 50%, you guys do know, you do realize that if you're doing over 7%, you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can make 30, 50, and let's not even talk about options.
Right.
I got, options on 300%, 130%, 150%. If I can make that type of gain,
Mm-hmm.
but in 2021, the problem was I got too greedy and let that thing turn around, and then I lose it all because I'm like, it's going to run more. I talked about my friend Ron, who's in the room.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that's one of the things that he struggled with. He used to say, yeah, but it's going to keep running, bud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, while you losing sleep on that volatile stock, I sold, and I'm rejoicing for the people that made a little more money. But I'm out. It's called limiting your risk.
Mm.
The people that take smaller wins and limit their risk going to make more money over a 3, 7, 10-year period.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to make more money because they're locking in more wins. Greed is a killer, a wealth killer. Greed is a wealth killer.
For sure. So I had to ask you about this. I was watching an interview that you did a couple years ago, and you said to never fall in love with brick and mortar. Can you explain why?
Absolutely. So I have a friend that's a developer.
Okay.
All right. And Josh know him too. We went to the same church. He's a good friend of mine. And he developed subdivisions, right?
Okay.
And he told his wife, I watched him, Eli Rosario is his name. I literally watched him buy seven homes that he actually lived in.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And he told his wife, look, don't fall in love with this brick and mortar. So he would move into a home and he would literally buy one of the first homes in a new subdivision, right?
Okay.
And he would get in. I learned so much from this. He would take the equity out. 2 years, 3 years, he gone.
Mm-hmm.
Take the equity out, flip it, bigger house. Take the equity out, new community, bigger house.
Mm-hmm.
In some of the communities, he wasn't even developer in, but he just saw the opportunity. He kept taking this equity and putting it into the bigger homes, but knowing that he was only going to suck the equity out of that home. So he told his wife, don't fall in love with brick and mortar, right? So at the end of the day, he was living in a house. This was a big house. I believe this house was probably worth at least 1.5 on a lake in a subdivision. And when he told me how much his mortgage was, it was about the same as mine. I mean, before my success. And I was like, what? And he was showing me what he was doing with his equity. And I was just like, that is so brilliant. Right? So, and I say that about brick and mortar, but I also say that about stock. Don't fall in love with no stock. That's a fool's play. Don't fall in love with a stock.
Yeah. Like Keenan says, trade with a chart, not your heart, man.
A stock is a horse that got you from point A to point B. And in the old Western movies, when that horse put you down, like you see him, you look at what Lone Ranger and he get off one horse. When that horse put you down, you know what he did? He jumped off of that horse and got onto another horse and left that horse. That horse is just a vehicle. And on some of the movies, they literally put a bullet in the horse's head. That horse is done. His hoof is messed up. Bow. And I know this sounds brutal.
Yeah.
But and then he got on the other horse, right? That was it. That horse was just a vehicle. The stocks are just a vehicle. We're riding this horse till it takes us to the next post. That's it. And leave it, because it's going to leave you. It's going to drop you. Pull up GME or GameStop. You're going to see this run up, right? What people don't realize is if somebody 10x their money off of GameStop or AMC, then 10 people lost money. So at the end of the day, when those type of plays are over, 1 out of 10 making money. The other 10 is losing money. Early in, early out. And I always say this, and remember this with investing. For those of you that are concert goers, I used to work in the music industry. And this has helped me with my investing. When you hear your favorite song playing, which every act, okay, for me it's Earth, Wind, and Fire. They follow me. They friends of mine now. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. To me, they're going to do September towards the end. I know this. Do you remember? All right. You bob your head. You like, this is good music.
Okay.
All right. So what you was probably what? Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah.
you know, right? Kendrick
Future.
Lamar.
I grew up watching Future, Drake.
What's Drake's biggest hit?
Biggest hit?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What is his biggest hit?
Well, one of his biggest hits.
One I can think of off the top of my head is probably Best I Ever Had. I forget what.
Okay, Best I Ever Had. All right.
Yeah.
So Best I Ever Had.
That
I
was
actually
real
know
popular.
that one. Yeah, so that was popular. All right. So Best I Ever Had. He doing that. That's his last song, right? I'm just hypothetical. So now, I know from working at the concert venue, it's going to be a traffic jam. It's going to take me an hour to get out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Right? This is how you exit a play. While the band strikes up that first note on your first tune, right halfway through, I turn to my wife and go, let's go, babe. She already knows what time it is. And we start making it to the, hey, look, hey, man, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, I'm doing the point. I'm still walking. Right? I'm still walking. Like I'm getting in the car, boom, and I get out of that parking lot.
Yeah.
Right? I learned that, and that's what helped me to make money with GameStop last year. I made ridiculous money off of GameStop, AMC, Shiba Inu, Doge. I played Doge like a card. I didn't let Doge play me. I played Doge. I knew that the crowd, the herd was coming. I knew that I was before the herd, right? So I'm early to the event so I can get the best seat before everybody else comes, right? But I'm the first one out the door. You got to think about stocks like that.
Yeah.
You want to be in before the ramp up, but you want to be out. Who cares who the last person is? They in a traffic jam. All of y'all gonna be we at home watching the 10 o'clock news. Y'all still in the traffic jam. And so you got to think about stocks like that, any type of investment like that.
I was gonna say that sometimes it's hard to know like if you're like how early you are. You know what I mean? And I think it's all relative in terms of how like long you're gonna hold it. You know, because like you could say that you're technically early for Bitcoin because it's going to be mass adopted eventually and become. I think you said it was going to hit $1 million. So technically, if
eventually will.
Eventually it'll hit $1 million.
I'll go out on a limb and say the next cycle, not this cycle, I'll go out and say that it could hit $250,000 at the high in the next cycle.
Next cycle.
Yeah. Exactly. You're talking about $60 billion at the time of filming this. $60 billion of Bitcoin have been purchased out of the 11 spot ETFs. Think about that. BlackRock alone, 20 billion, not million, billion with a B.
Yeah.
Think about it.
You mind sharing with the people what you were talking about in terms of BlackRock from yesterday's event in terms of Bitcoin?
BlackRock is the world's largest asset owner, right? What do they own? What do they manage? They manage 10 trillion in assets. What do they manage? The funds.
Yep.
You know,
retirement accounts and all that.
Retirement accounts, you know, the teachers' funds, the police funds, all this. I'm just using for example. Just you can look in the portfolios right there, right? And the CEO of Mortar, which is the world's largest Bitcoin mining company, said this on my show when I interviewed him. If BlackRock suggests that to their clients, these retirement funds, to add 1% Bitcoin to your portfolios, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Not 30%, 1%. There's only 21 million Bitcoin that's ever going to be mined. Think about it. Over 19.8 million have already been mined. And people don't understand the halving system.
Yep.
The halving system is to control the amount of Bitcoin that could be consumed by institutions. So they slow it down. Every 4 years, only half the Bitcoin are being mined, right? And so people think, okay, well then that means that in the next 1 or 2 years, it's all going to be mined. No, it's going to take over 100 years for that last half a million Bitcoin to be mined. And it's by design, right? Because it's the great equalizer.
Oh, definitely the great equalizer. So also on your videos, you talk about how you manage 7 portfolios, and I want to know, how do you manage so many portfolios?
Easy, easy.
Easy.
Yeah, real easy. I like it. I make more money because of the way I have my portfolios,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in my Fidelity alone, I have 3 portfolios. A lot of people don't know you can do that. For those of you that have Fidelity, call your Fidelity broker. So if I opened up my Fidelity right now, you're going to see 4 portfolios.
Mm-hmm.
I have a SEP, okay. I have and in my I have a SEP through my business, but I have a blue chip portfolio. So they're stacked right there where you can see them clear. It allows me to buy clean. It allows me to see clean and make quick decisions. I have an ETF portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
I have a blue chip portfolio, and I have a small cap growth portfolio. Those are my main 3 portfolios. And then I have a SEP
Mm-hmm.
portfolio in there. So there's something called rotation, right?
Yep.
There are times when small caps get beat down. Another thing that I do, I keep 1 share of everything at all times.
Really?
Yeah, 1 share of everything. If I sell a full position, I don't keep one. Why? I can clearly monitor it when I see it.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
Yeah. So if I see something if I wake up and something is down by 30%, then I'm going to research that one. Just looking at the one, right?
Yeah.
And then if I think that it is extremely oversold and the worst is behind, I load up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a time for me, and that just keeps everything laid out. Then I have other brokers that I have my other investments in. I still have a penny stock broker that I play with, penny stock. I keep that totally separate. I'm not having that with my main retirement, right? That's my play money, right? And then I have my crypto
Yep.
portfolios. So I manage them well. The truth be told, I'll say this, and we'll go to the next question. It is easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bold statement. When you understand the entire ecosystem of crypto, that doesn't mean you know everything, but the ecosystem.
Yeah.
It is easier to make money with crypto than it is with stocks.
Really?
It is.
Okay.
And anybody that really understands crypto will agree. Easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can actually let your tools do the work for you. And if you understand what it's easier to see the 4 stages that is in crypto and stocks. It's easier to see when accumulation is, markup, distribution, and markdown because it's on a 4-year cycle.
Yeah.
The stock market is not on a 4-year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Stock market is whenever it gets ready to tank, it's going to tank.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with stocks, it's kind of like a blueprint. And all you got to do is be patient and be brave enough to buy when it's time to accumulate. To be brave enough to buy, because remember, it's beat down.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared to buy Bitcoin at 20K.
15.
Everybody was scared.
Yep.
My buddy Stocks with Josh literally called the bottom of Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at it, I'm like, this got to be the bottom. Then Josh called it. He called it. And he's like, guys, you're going to miss the bottom.
Yep.
This is it. I'm telling you, this is it. Now, I thought that was real brave. I was scared for him. But guess what?
In YouTube comments, no joke.
Guess what? I was buying.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? When he said it, that like just confirmed me to buy. Like I was just buying like, oh,
you're like, should I?
I might just lose it. It might go to zero. I don't care how strong you are. When you see something down that far, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I start buying it, but turned out he was right. Mm-hmm. Now, at the time of filming this, what is it, like 67,
70K? Yeah.
70K. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember like my sub box, everybody's talking about, oh, it's going to 5K, it's going sub 10K. And I was and it's so hard to like buy when I think the bottom was like 15 or 14, something like that. Right. And you just don't want to like miss that better opportunity. Right. And then I just remember seeing it at 15 and I was like, all right. And then it went to 16. And I told myself, all right, it get to 18, I just got to go with it,
One of the things I trade off of, one of the indicators that I use all of the time,
MACD.
No, believe it or not, the
Oh.
Fear and Greed Index. I mean, I use it with the charts,
Mm.
and I actually load it up in the charts, and I use it, and I use it as a general.
Mm-hmm.
When people are extremely
Fearful.
I start to buy.
Can you add
And
that?
when people are extreme, yeah, you can buy. You can add it in Trading View.
Trading View? Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just about
yeah.
to say. Okay.
And then when
Cool.
people are extremely greedy, I start selling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where are we at now with Bitcoin? Where would you say?
Bitcoin is trading sideways. Well, I expected
Sideways?
this.
Yeah.
I called this out. Like everybody, it's just not me. Everybody that really knows Bitcoin knows it. It's been at the time of filming this. It's been. We expected it. I literally said until it closes a couple of days above 72 to 74.
Mm-hmm.
I actually said 74. We're just going to be trading sideways for months. And I
Yeah.
said that a few months ago. And it has. It's just been range bound.
Ranging.
It's just range bound. But when it pops above and closes above 74 for a couple of days, it's going to shoot straight up to 80.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, it may hit resistance at 80. Right? And it may get rejected. And it could get rejected hard.
Mm-hmm.
But if it pops above 80, we're going to hit 120. Like that's the way Bitcoin is.
120?
Yeah.
What do you think the top? You think that 120 is the top for this cycle?
You know, I'm not as bullish as most people are. I would say 120 to 150. Now, that's a guess.
Yeah.
This is now at above 80 right now. Any of us are guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is the truth.
Yeah.
But it could hit 150. It's not going to do. You know, I see these ridiculous. Oh, it's going to be in 2025. It's going to be $1 million. No, it's not.
No. Yeah.
No, it's not.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that you had mentioned earlier in the interview is that it's easier to make money in crypto than in stocks because of the ecosystems, and it's easier to see the phases and stuff. So why not go all in on like crypto investing and trading?
That's what a lot of young people think.
Mm-hmm.
So anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell.
Oh yeah, trust. I'm gonna put that disclaimer in the description. Yeah.
If you have a headache for more than 24 hours, consult your doctor. But here's what I want to tell you.
Yeah.
I am still 80% stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Even knowing that, I have disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 20 nothing. I'm not 30 nothing. I'm not 40 nothing. And I'm soon not to be 50 nothing, right? You have to trade according to your age, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's not be crazy. And I know there's a lot of people out there, especially your followers are probably, I'm just YOLOing all into crypto. Okay, I'm going to be drawing retirement from my retirement fund, right?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to be doing that with crypto. Like the Bitcoin that I'm going to hold, which will be multiple Bitcoins, I plan on being, a quad Bitcoin multimillionaire, meaning I'm going to hold multiple Bitcoin. I may get more than that, but I'm never selling those.
Yeah.
I'll borrow against it, but I'm passing those on to my kids. That's what I'm on. Now, I'm just saying I can maximize that 20% investment in crypto and still make a killing.
Yeah.
But I'm not just getting in because it's extremely volatile right now and everything is not set. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know what the government is going to do with it. We don't know. It's just so much uncertainty. But that stock market, 1792.
Yep.
It got a track record.
Yep.
That's like Bertha that can go in there and cook. You know what I'm saying? You want to marry the skinny girl that wears the dresses, the high and the heels, and can't cook and can't do everything. Eventually, that beauty gonna fade. And when you at home and you hungry, I want somebody who can. I'm old school. Yeah. I want somebody. You know what I'm saying? There's a type of women you date, and there's a type of women you take home to mama.
Yeah.
Right. There's the type of woman you see. Oh, she fine, man. I want to ask her out. You may go out with her. But is she really wife material? Right? You know what I'm saying? Is he really husband material? Yeah. Is Day really husband material? Right? Right? You know you grew up in church. You know he's sagging and tatted all up the neck. Are you really gonna bring Day home to mama and them? Come on.
All right. That's funny. So let's go back to the YouTube. I know we were talking about we're kind of talking about this off camera about collaborations, and I always like to ask YouTubers, especially once they become big, like how do you strategically collaborate, especially to protect your brand?
I am extremely selective in who I collaborate with. Right. My first collaboration was with King and Grace. I made a video about Keenan Grace, and it was almost like prophecy. I said, Keenan Grace is one of the YouTubers that you need to be watching out for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Keenan Grace hit 10,000, and I was just impressed with his energy, the way he did it. And I did something no other YouTuber at that time was doing. This was in 2021.
Yeah.
I made an entire video highlighting other YouTubers you should watch.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you could. It's still up. And Keenan Grace was one of them. And I said, let me have Keenan on the show.
Yeah.
And reached out to him, and he came on the show. And then we had other YouTubers came out, and then out of that, that's how the Stock Squad actually started, right? Josh and I, we've been friends for a while. Now, I knew two things. Josh loves to tell a story, right? And he could tell a story. My wife actually loves to hear Josh tell stories, right? And I just had to work with Josh on just kind of like consolidating those stories a little bit.
Yeah, he's long-winded,
but I knew, but I knew Josh was
the real deal
when it comes to charting. Like, there's a song, Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. I didn't give Josh anything but a platform to do what he already was doing, his God-given talent, right? I knew that Josh was one of the best technical analysts anywhere. CNBC, Fox Business, Yahoo, ABC, CBS, anywhere. Just hard code anywhere. And he just so happened to be my friend, and he just so happened to be someone that I didn't start him into the stocks.
Yeah,
I encouraged him and took him to one of my mentors, and that's when his journey started, right? And Josh went to the technicals. Josh been doing technicals a long time, so he went to the technicals and he buried himself in the technicals. I buried myself in the fundamentals. He buried himself in the technicals. But I knew that Josh would be a blessing to a lot of people, right? And so that's how that journey starts. So as far as relational, I definitely have the tightest relationship with Josh because it's 25 years deep.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I can go into other things that we used to actually work together, the same job.
Really?
Yeah.
You know Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We used to go to the same church. Yeah. And we actually became tighter when someone pit us against each other.
Just like how they're doing in the comments.
Yeah, they
now.
were trying to play us against each other. And we sat down and talked. And when we got through talking, we realized that it was the idiot. And I'm going to call him idiot. I'm sorry. I love him. I still know I love him. But I'm calling it this hardhead, this knucklehead was trying to pit us against each other. And that's how we became friends. So all you haters that out there that's trying to that come onto my page and saying something, number one, I'm going to block you. Don't say anything negative on my page about anybody. I just don't like that. You never need to use a man as a footstool to elevate yourself. My dad taught me that.
Yeah.
Early. Never use another man's back to elevate yourself. Okay. So, but we got some haters out there. They don't know our relationship. They don't know how far we go back. You come at me, Josh gonna cut you.
Yeah, that was actually going to be. That's actually one of the questions on here is how do you deal with YouTube hate? Like,
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You gonna get it. You gonna get it. I don't care who you are. Yeah. When I help people with their new pages, I said just get ready. You're gonna get it. Oh no, I'm just a likable person. Listen, right now, the
internet don't care.
Listen, Josh found it out. There was a season. Josh would upload the video uploaded, and then the video is like 15 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
Soon as it posts, 1,000 dislike. That's before they took out the dislike button.
Yeah.
So the person literally couldn't have watched 1 minute of a 15-minute video and they already disliked. That's their job. Haters gonna hate. Yeah. The great prophet said that.
Yeah, haters gonna hate, and I'm already prepared for the YouTube hate. It's gotta just block it out.
The great prophet T Swizzle.
You said what again?
The great prophet T Swizzle said that. Taylor Swift, man, you so
look, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I ain't gonna lie. I know some people I'm gonna catch some.
The Swifties are gonna come out.
Oh, I know.
One day I said I didn't like Beyonce's new album. Bruh, I thought I was going to leave the country.
Yeah, they do not play but I remember, I'll never forget. I wore this Sade shirt one time
Oh,
to the bar or whatever with
mhm.
some of my fraternity brothers and sorority sisters, and they was like, "Oh, I really like your shirt." I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And I told them, I was like, "Oh, I don't even listen to her music." They looked at me like I was crazy. And I was just like,
Wait a minute. You didn't listen to Sade?
"I don't listen to her. I'm sorry."
I know this your platform, your studio, but get out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't grow up listening
And
to
leave
her.
the country and hang your head in shame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Everybody don't have good taste, but go ahead.
Yeah. What's Hey, man, good taste.
I'll just joking, man.
It's all good. It's all good. But let's get into your high conviction plays, man. What are you really high on in terms of for crypto and for stocks?
Cash.
Okay. Oh man, you know the
No.
people
I'm
don't want to hear
serious.
that.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Here are my high conviction plays. I just showed you just before the my new meme coin, like it's bunk.
Yeah.
Like, and I know about Pepe. I know about Wife. Okay. I know
With
about Floki. I know about dog with hat. I know about man with briefcase walking with dog with hat with baby with full diaper. I know all about these all new names that's coming out. I know all about them, right?
hmm
I like bunk. Okay, just like I like Shib. And when I was doing Shib, everybody, oh, it's Doge. Why do I have to pick?
Yeah.
I had Doge and Shib. I made money off of both of them, right?
Yeah.
So I just choose bunk. I just choose it. I'm limiting the amount of crypto this cycle. I'm not, man, it was ridiculous. I had 30 different plays going on saying you're not managing. You're just gambling.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I'm narrowing this time.
hmm
I got plenty of Bitcoin. I got plenty of Solana. I got plenty of Ethereum. I'm into the altcoins. But my theory is I'm in the fastest moving car and I'm not falling in love with brick and mortar.
hmm
I'm not marrying any of these cryptos. I'm in the fastest moving car. I've made a ton of money off of bunk. I take my meme coins when they're slowing down. I roll it over into altcoin during altcoin season. I'm in the fastest moving car. And then when altcoin season is over, I'm
Yep.
converting back to USDC. I'm making my 5.1%, right?
hmm
And then when the markdown comes in and Bitcoin goes back down to wherever I think it's going back down, then I'm back into Bitcoin. But guess what?
hmm
I'm never selling it after that point. I'm never selling my Bitcoin after that point
Never.
because Bitcoin is going to experience lower highs and lower lows. The cycle has been changed with institutional buy-in as much as it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's
This
going to change.
is the first cycle that
Yeah.
we've seen it above hit an all time high after
Yeah.
the
So
halving.
with crypto,
Or before the halving.
those are some of my high conviction plays. I got some chain link. I got some Ondo, just I'm just not. I just got more money into my higher conviction plays, so that was my answer. I have some more, but I'm not going to go into it. But
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that I'm 80% Bitcoin and altcoins. But now my 80% is more than a lot.
Yeah.
I'm less risk in this cycle now. But here's the caveat.
hmm
Last year, I went in heavy into the main meme coins. Remember what I was talking about: early to the concert and early out.
Yeah.
So last year, I was snapshotting. Joshua will tell you, one day I said, I'm buying Bitcoin right now. This is going to be a low view video. I'm buying Bitcoin. And I snapped it.
hmm Yeah. Half the
And it was
people
low
issues.
views, but probably 10,000 views on that one. Low views, right?
hmm
I was like, okay. Then when I was up 400% on that Shiba Inu play, 400%, then everybody is, oh, is it too late for me to get in now? That's what usually happens.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be brave. We got to be firemen.
Most definitely. Well, Larry, come to the end, and I just wanted to do a couple rapid fire questions before we.
Shoot off, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Crypto or stocks?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Don't choose. You don't have to choose.
Investing or trading?
Investing. Right now,
Really?
investing. Market
Okay.
is heavy. Market is top heavy right now. Let's talk about stocks. I'll take 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
Market is top heavy right now, right?
Right.
I literally, this is just me, okay? It's an election year. Market's not going to tank before the election.
Mhm.
All bets are off after the election, especially if a certain candidate wins. I'm
Mm.
not getting into which one is that.
Yeah.
We ain't going there. All right. But If the market, I will be, if it goes one way, I would be very worried Q1 to Q2 of 2025. Very worried. So what I'm doing right now is for every dollar that I invest, I'm still putting the money into my trading account to have it ready, so you don't have to wait 5 to 7 days for your money to clear, because the bottom in the stock market is generally 11 to 12 days. That's how long the bottom usually lasts, around 11 days. Okay. So that's why I said cash. So I'm continuing my DCA because I do believe the year end will probably close up, right?
Right.
But then I'm moving all my stop losses up, cash ready. And the more that it does tank, the better position I'm going to be in.
Okay.
Just go. Remember, we got short-term memory.
Got to.
Remember what happened with COVID. Remember what happened in 2008. Remember what happens in the 90s. Remember what happened, for those of you that have charts with the S&P, remember what happened in October 2022. The low of the S&P. That was a great time to buy.
It was. It
Next
was
question.
indeed. All right. Leverage or no leverage?
No, absolutely not.
Really? Absolutely not?
No leverage.
Really?
Risk off. Don't be that. No, I'm just sorry. I'm different. I don't care what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
No leverage.
Okay. And then any role models?
Any what?
Role models?
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I'm dead serious. Jesus Christ. I like the way Jesus moved. Jesus found the people, and this is, let's take spirituality out of it. Let's just look at how he moved, right?
Yeah.
He found everyday people, fishermen. Name me one of his disciples that was just the expert. He just found everyday people and did extraordinary things. Jesus found everyday people and did extraordinary things. And that's what I'm trying to do. So he's my role model, number one. My dad, risk taker. When he was younger, the younger you are, the more you take risk.
Yeah.
My dad's a man's man, risk taker, took care of the family, would beat a rock for his family, can do anything, like can fix anything, like a real man's man, and made us do it at a young age. My dad, he's one of the guys that just didn't run with the crowd. Yeah,
that's dope. And then best books that you've read. They could be business, non-business, stocks, non-stocks.
You know, I read the most abstract books. There's one, I can't think of the name of it. My wife bought me on trends. My wife's brother bought this on trends. I can't think, how trends change. I learned a lot about this media, which helped me to be a better YouTuber. Damon from Shark Tank, I like his book because he interviewed 10 of the top people in the world, that whether it was sports or whether it was in business, he interviewed 10 people and he found what was consistent in all of them.
Which was?
And one of the things, the one key thing that I operate till this day on, and I was talking to you about this before we started, get your directives out. Be proactive before you're reactive. First thing I do in the morning, when I was up this morning, I was in the Patreon. So I'm not looking at any emails. I'm not taking phone calls. I'm not being reactive in the morning. The first thing I do in the morning is I get my work done. I get my directives out, the things that I want to get, because it helps you with time management.
Yep.
You get 3 times more stuff done by the end of the month by doing this. And I live by this. So I'm studying in the pre-markets. I know I'm pretty much executing my plays. I know what I'm going to make a video about. I'm taking care of all of that. I got a lot of stuff. I'm working on my coffee company, and I keep adding more lessons to my class. I'm working on those things first thing in the morning, all of this. And then in the evening is when I'll take a call, answer texts, and answer emails, and watch how life-changing that is in business.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like waking up early in the morning and just getting everything that's important to what I call moving the boat forward in the morning, as opposed to doing it at night.
I will, by the time you post this, I will send you those books and the proper names of them, right? Okay. But I'm not an avid reader. Really? I'm visual. I'm a visual learner. And I spend a lot of time with videos.
I actually don't even read books. I actually just listen to them in audiobooks.
Exactly.
It takes too long for me to read, so it's just easier. that way. But all right, everybody, there you have it. Stock Up with Larry Jones. I'm gonna leave his channel in the description, and another great individual to inspire you guys to do the same. Until next time, peace.